YouTube channel. It's your Faye Blessing, and we are back at it again with another video. So today's video is going to be what is my major and why. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so today I'm just going to be discussing with you guys what is my major, like why am I picking it, and that's kind of determined to like which schools I apply to and why I apply to my school. And as decision day is coming up on May 1st, I thought this would be the perfect time to just let you guys know what is it that I'm going to college for. So I don't know if I've shared this before in past videos, but my intended major is gonna do with medicine as my long-term goal. I think I should start off with that. Will be a pediatrician. I always knew for sure that I wanted to do something like within law or medicine, maybe engineering, because I just felt like that could work. I want to stay with the child from young. I want to at least be in their toddler, early development age, because I think that's like the fun age. And I honestly could not figure out from the life of me what that was. And it's funny because it's like a pediatrician, duh, but for some reason that just never clicked in my head. So one day I was just sitting around like, oh snap, a pediatrician. And what came to me is that I'm very involved at my church, and I'm actually a Sunday school teacher, and I've been a Sunday school teacher for years now. And I've watched most of my little cousins grow up from like little children until now they're like 9, 10, 11. And I'm just like, wow, like I've been doing that. I've been nurturing them, caring for them, taking care of them in a way that even my doctor doesn't talk to me. Like I'm with them spiritually, like as a church, I'm building them spiritually. And I see them more than what a regular doctor would see them. I see them at least once a week, and sometimes 2 to 3 depending on the event. So I didn't really realize that all I do is around kids. Like my whole life honestly had revolved around kids, but that's kind of what struck me. And I was just like, OMG, like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I had sat back and I was just reflecting, and I was just like, this is what I want to be. I want to be a pediatrician. I want to help kids. I want to be able to just care for them on a deeper level. I want to not only have an environment where I'm taking care of you on like a health stage, but also make a space where you can feel comfortable mentally and stuff like that. So I was like, I want to have my own practice. Now, the practice idea of things, which I'll get more into this in like a future video, just like exactly what is my dream. But in short, my long-term goal is to have at least 7 nonprofit clinics around the world, so 1 in each continent in undeveloped countries. And that is really just a sign to my parents, as my parents are not Americans and they grew up in different countries and just different areas. And I kind of want to have a clinic in those places and more to kind of help those children like my parents and like so many of my friends, cousins and aunties who are in those environments where they need the proper health care, and even more than just a healthcare facility, somewhere where like they can get resources in life as far as like educational help, food services, stuff like that, because I'm also an avid worker within my food pantry at my church. So that's like the long-term goal in short. It's definitely Compass Lie. It's taken me a long time to come up with that dream, and that dream, believe it or not, was always in my mind even before I said I wanted to be a pediatrician. And it just made so much sense once I went ahead and said I wanted to be a pediatrician. So that is honestly what I want to be, and like why kind of. My major will be religious studies. And I know this right here is so like, what, huh? We just went from doctor religious studies, and this is like why it was so hard for me to figure out how I was gonna talk in this video, because it's so different, the ideas. So let's put the pediatrician to the side, because mind you, I do have to be on a pre-med track to even consider going into med school. Thus, I can major in anything. So if you didn't know, you can major in anything before you go to med school, but most people do pick the sciences because it's just easier to get those credits out, because you obviously need science for med school. So most people will go with the bios and the chems just because they're getting it out of the way. And that's initially what I did. On all of my college applications, I went ahead and decided to go for bio. It's not until about like 3 months ago that I actually went ahead and changed it on my college applications I was getting back. So all of my schools that I was starting to receive, I was emailing them and telling them religious studies. So that's where it like actually came from. And I know you're like, religious studies, like what does that mean, how, what? So growing up, my family has been Christian, but I've had like a lot of Islamic friends and family, and then I've grown up a lot of friends who are atheists, and then I've had friends who just believe in other spiritual means of just religion, I guess you could say. And I've always found them interesting, even down to like Greek mythology. Like I've always just found that stuff interesting. I'm an avid reader, so like stories and myths, fantasies are honestly my favorite genre. So with fantasies come those like fake gods and goddesses and stuff like that, which I personally just like it for pure entertainment. But I've always noticed that I've always tried to find similarities, and there's a lot that people don't know that are similar between different religions. And it's always been kind of interesting to me how, especially like within the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, how similar they are yet so different. And then when you get over to Buddhism and Hinduism, and that stuff has always just like intrigued me. I've always just watched videos on it. I've always like had like intellectual conversations with my friends over that, and it was honestly just a pastime. And I never really thought about doing it anywhere long term. Like this was never on my radar at all. The reason how I got into religious studies was I went to the library one day, and one of the guys who I'm very close with, he did like religion in media, where he saw how different religions influence the medias of their environments, especially in those states where they are official religions like Islam in like Syria or something like that, and how that influenced how the media and everything operates. And he was telling me how like he got to travel to all these different countries to actually see that firsthand. And when he said that, that's what like it started to like pique my interest, because he explained to me of his travels and what it was like and what it meant. Like one time he was in Morocco during Ramadan, and how the shops would close and how he would have to rush to the shops to get a seat, because as soon as it hits 6 o'clock, I believe, then it's busy and everybody's sitting there trying to get their food, get in lines and stuff like that. And he just told me of his travels, and I was like, oh my gosh, wow, like I would really like to do that. Like that is something that's so interesting to me personally. So I went ahead and started looking up the major and seeing like what it entails. In religious studies, as I've seen it on my major like information, is just seeing different types of religions and how they influence or are represented historically, artistically, in the media, and like their history, as far as like the history of the religion and not just history of the world. And I was like, this is it. So that's kind of why I'm majoring in that, because I have the flexibility of having a major and still being on track to medical school. I decided that I wanted to do religious studies, and it's going to be harder, definitely, just because religious studies is not even nowhere on the science spectrum. But this is something that was really passionate to me. College for me is a time to really experience me and like what I like in life, and I feel like it's important for me to go on this path. I don't really know where it's going to take me. I don't know if I would ever leave medicine for religious studies, because I can still open clinics and like hire doctors one day. Like I don't have to be one of those doctors, and those are like two things that I really do enjoy together. A lot, really. That was a lot but that's kind of basically what I'm majoring in. So I will be majoring in religious studies on a pre-med track. Long-term goal, pediatrician. Lifetime goal will be to open up non-profit clinics around the world in undeveloped nations. And and a minor in French, just because I've been taking French for 4 years and I have like a lot of family members who speak French, so I just want to add that to my dialogues so I can be, booked and busy with all the opportunities with being bilingual and stuff like that. So that is honestly my goals as far as what I'm majoring in and stuff like that. And the school that I picked is definitely a school that is going to help me for that. The school that I'm picking definitely has the religious studies course the way I want it to learn, and then furthermore, it has a great medical program, even med school, if I choose to stay at this school for med school. So it's definitely like it's definitely a good school for all of that I'm encompassing, and I'm really excited about seeing where this goes. So I hope this guys helps you. And if you're in college right now or you're going to college, please comment below what you're majoring in, what you're hoping to major in, what do you want to be in the future. I want to say grow up, but like that just sounds so like little kiddish now. So like, what do you plan on doing within the next 5-10 years with your life? So without further ado, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell your aunties, your uncles, put me on the Zoom, put me everywhere. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.